Listen, it's 2025 and I want us to get our money right. I have a burden for people to be financially free, especially with the way this economy is going. So I'm going to give you a few key tips to become financially free starting in 2025. All right, so first things first, we have to talk about your mindset and developing financial discipline. Listen, understand that building wealth is a long-term play. This is not some get-rich-quick scheme or get-rich overnight scheme, hitting the lottery. Now, if you do hit the lottery, you play the lottery, that's great. Congratulations to you. But we're talking about building long-term wealth, even generational wealth in this video. Now, when it comes to becoming financially free, you have to develop a mindset of delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is so important. When we're in the stores or we see something online, a lot of times we'll just jump on it, especially these ads on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. I have fallen victim to all of them, but delayed gratification is going to help us stay within our budget, which is something that we'll talk about a little later in this video. Delayed gratification simply means you're delaying yourself of something that you want right now. And the key word there is want. Ask yourself these questions whenever you're making these purchases. Do you really need this? Do you really need to eat out tonight? Or do you have some noodles at home? Do you have some chicken that you could throw in the oven or on top of the stove? You need to be asking yourself these questions to become financially free. But we have to talk about a little bit about your budgeting and your expense management. Now, before we do that, I have to tell you a little bit of my background, where I came from, and how my husband and I dug ourselves $65,000 out of debt in just 13 months. All right, so again, my name is Whitney Mikel. I am from North Carolina. My financial background, I really didn't have any knowledge or education on finances. Being 100% honest, my family was not the best with money. So a lot of things that I'm talking about in this video are things that I've learned along the way, especially being in the military, traveling the world. You just see different things and you learn different things. So before I even joined the Navy, I was terrible with finances. I made decent money, but I really didn't know how to manage it. I would overspend, living paycheck to paycheck. I even remember taking out some payday loans and just being reckless. Now, part of my story is I did go through identity theft. It was a really terrible situation, but we got that all cleaned up. So that did affect my credit score, but my credit score, some of it was my doing, and my credit score was around 420. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. I had a 420 credit score. I couldn't even buy a piece of advice with my credit score, but that's okay, because now I'm sitting in the 800s, and I'm gonna tell you how I did that. So again, had a terrible credit score, just bad with money. Credit cards, maxing out credit cards, living life, and sometimes using those credit cards just to pay bills to survive. And I don't know if you have that story, but if you do, I'm just here to tell you that it's not really about where you came from, but it's about where you want to be. You literally have the choice to change your life, and it all starts with having knowledge and education. So to make a long story short, like I said, I went through struggle, not even having food in the house when I was living by myself, not having money for gas. My cousin brother, he can attest to this. He's somebody who helped me when he seen me in the struggle, pretty bad with money, Then I meet my husband, and we came across a guy named Dave Ramsey. I'm sure you've heard me talk about him maybe in a previous video, but if not, Dave Ramsey is a guy who gives financial advice, and it's really, really good advice. It helped change our life. And so my husband and I remember one day he was in the bathroom, and I was just going through the finances. I was calculating everything, and I realized that we had spent $1,000 eating out in 1 month. $1,000 just on food, and that's eating out. That doesn't even include anything that we had in the house. So I beat on the door, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, David, come out of the bathroom. We need to talk. We need to talk. And he's like, all right, sat down, told him what I found in the finances, and I'm like, we spent way too much money on food. At the time we had credit cards, we had car loans. We just were not being good stewards, like at all. So again, we come across this guy named Dave Ramsey, and he has 7 baby steps. Go check out our video where I talk about how we got out of debt. It's really good. We'll talk about some of the 7 baby steps in this video, but we're not going to talk about all of them. But it's very important that you find a financial system that works for you, whatever works for you. I am a Dave Ramsey fan. My husband is a Dave Ramsey fan, simply because, like I said, helped us get out of debt in 13 months, $65,000, which is absolutely insane. What I'm saying is the next step is your budget and management expenses. Your budget, your budget, your budget. When we were digging ourselves out of this debt hole, we had way more money than we thought. The problem is we just were not budgeting. We weren't budgeting at all. So when it comes to a budget, you want to create a zero-based budget. And what that means is that you know where every dime, every nickel, every dollar is going within your budget. One of the apps that we use, actually the only budgeting app that we use, is the Every Dollar Budget app. Is something that we learned about when we were on the Dave Ramsey journey to becoming debt-free. The Every Dollar Budgeting app, or many other budgeting apps, or you can create a spreadsheet, use a piece of paper, whatever you want to do. But what you want to do is put down your total amount of monthly income. And this is after taxes, your total amount of monthly income. You want to write down every single bill that you have. Listen to me, every single bill that you have. This includes those Netflix subscriptions, those Hulu subscriptions, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, your water bill, your light bill, your phone bill, any student loans that you have, any credit card payment, any car loans, anything that you can think of. You need to write this down or put it in the Every Dollar Budgeting app. And if you don't know exactly what you're paying a month, then we need to have a total different conversation. But there are apps that you can download to show you what monthly subscriptions you have coming out, or you can simply go to your bank account and search for transactions. Look at your bank statements. You need to find out exactly how much you're truly spending on bills a month. We're not talking about any leisure play or anything like that. We're specifically talking about bills. And again, that includes all of those subscriptions. Once you do that, hopefully you have more money than you realize. That is the goal. You want to have more money than you realize. So if you realize you have more money than you thought at the end of the month, after all your bills are paid, you need to start tackling your debt. Now, before you do this, Dave Ramsey's baby step one is saving up a $1,000 emergency fund. Make sure you have at least $1,000 in the bank in case some type of emergency comes up. And $1,000 should be enough to light some fire under you so you can move on to the next step, to building wealth. $1,000 is not a big emergency fund. Some people like to have $10,000 in the bank, but if you have $5,000 worth of loans or $10,000, why not go ahead and pay off that loan and then start building your savings? That's what Dave Ramsey's program talks about. So again, let's say you have more money than you realize. All your bills are paid. What you want to do is start taking the smallest debt. I'm not talking about interest or anything. The smallest debt that you have. Let's say you have a $500 credit card bill that you need to pay. Well, you want to start making payments based off of the extra money that you have. Make those payments based off of the extra money that you have. And you want to start doing this for each debt. And as you knock out the smallest debt, you go to the next debt. The money that you were putting towards that smallest debt, put it towards the next debt. It's called the snowball effect. You start small and you start building and building and building. And then that's how you get the big snowman. Now, if you'd like, I can do another video where we're talking about Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps. But again, we're not going to go into too much detail about that right now. I just want you to get the basics of getting your money together in 2025. Now, you might be in a situation where you actually have more bills than you have money. If you're in that situation, we need to talk about side hustles. It's 2025. There are so many ways that you can make extra money. For one, you could ask your boss for a pay raise depending on your situation. I don't know where you work, but you could ask for a pay raise. You can Uber, you can DoorDash, you can do Instacart. You can also work from home. There are so many different options, but if you have more bills than money, you need to start coming up with ways to get a side hustle so you can get your income up. In 2025, if you have one stream of income, you are asking to be broke. In most cases, let me say that again. In 2025, if you only have one stream of income, you're asking to be broke. The world is getting more and more expensive, so we need to start thinking of ways to have multiple streams of income. Now, with all this being said, if you need additional help with budgeting or anything like that, I really love to help people with this. So feel free to shoot me a message, ask me any questions. Now, this isn't the end of the video, but I just want to leave that disclaimer there. Don't feel like you have to do it alone. And plus, again, we're in 2025. There's so much technology out there. Get on YouTube, get on TikTok, get on Instagram. Look for ways to budget, ways to save money. And again, look up Dave Ramsey so he can begin to change your life just like he did ours. After you have paid off all your debt, let's say we went through the snowball effect and now you have all this extra money, what do you need to start thinking about next? Investing? Building wealth? How about those? Investing is so important. You can invest in a number of things. People do crypto, invest in real estate. Having a financial advisor is something that's good for you if you have all of your debt paid off. I cannot stress it enough. Having your debt paid off is going to open you up to financial freedom. You decide. Some people do like OPM, other people's money, meaning, you know, they borrow and they invest, they borrow and they invest. For me and my husband, we like to be debt free. You wake up a little differently when you know that you don't have any consumer debt. You're not stressed. When it comes to investing, you need to understand compound interest. The earlier you can start investing, the better off you are. And maybe you're in your 60s and you feel like your finances are just a mess, or maybe you're in your 70s. In my opinion, it's never too late to start. Start cleaning up the mess that you have, because the truth is, at some point we are all going to die. And so if you can even begin to clean up your finances so you're not leaving your family with a headache when you do leave this earth, that's something good as well. So it's never too late to start. Now, for my husband and I, one of our favorite investments is real estate. I'm a realtor. It kind of makes sense for us to invest in things that we truly understand. So I personally like investing in real estate, also investing in some stocks, invest in things that you know, such as Facebook, Amazon, Nike, Microsoft, things like that. That's what we like to invest in. So I say invest in what you know. Don't get into an investment situation to where you have no idea what you're investing in. You have no idea where your money's going. That is terrible. Don't do that. Now, I did skip a step. Before we get into investing, you do want to build up your emergency fund to more than $1,000. Let me say that. I recommend, just like Dave Ramsey says, having 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved up. Imagine being self-funded. And what I mean by that is, a lot of times when emergencies come up, people don't have the money to cover those emergencies. So they pull out the plastic and they start swiping the credit card, and then the cycle continues. But if you have $20,000 or $25,000 saved up, it's very rare that you're going to come across an emergency that costs $25,000, $50,000. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is very rare. So what I mean by being self-funded is you don't need that credit card for emergencies. You have your own money for emergencies, and that's how you begin to break that credit card debt cycle. Now, this is crazy. Listen to this. America has about $1.21 trillion worth of credit card debt. We're not even talking about student loans or car payments or regular bank loans. We're talking about credit card debt. Credit cards can be valuable if you know how to use them. The problem is the majority of Americans do not know how to use credit cards properly. Like I said, I was in that trap a long time ago, and I do know how to use a credit card now. My husband knows how to use a credit card now. We do not use them, but we do know how. So if you do want to use credit cards, there's a method that you need to be aware of to use it. Now, another interesting fact for you: on average, an American spends $1,597 a month on credit card debt. $1,597. Imagine if you did not have that credit card payment and you could put that money towards anything you wanted. Maybe it could be towards a vacation, towards a new car, or saving saving up for your kids' college. We haven't even talked about that seriously. Leaving something for your children. We are in a new day and age. Again, the world is getting much more expensive. So we as parents, if you are a parent, you want to leave something behind for your children other than debt. All right, it's 2025. We are cleaning this mess up. I know a lot of us were not taught about finances, but for real, that's no excuse. We can't have that excuse. We can't have that excuse. Oh, nobody taught me. Nobody taught me. But do you want to know the information? If you do, you need to start doing research. I'm telling you, being debt free and getting your finances in order is going to completely change your life. You're going to feel like a different human. We have no excuses. We've all made bad decisions. Own up to them and move on. They're in the past. You can't do anything about them. All we can do is fix it moving forward. That is what I want to encourage you with today. It's 2025 and we do not have any excuses. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about how we became debt free, how you can become debt free. Again, this is just a video of the basics and it starts with your mindset. Change your mindset. We have to do better as people in the United States of America. I hope you found this video valuable and helpful. If you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment, and as always, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.